buoys, hand buoys, aqua bells, water dumbbells, water weights, foam weights. I've heard them called everything. Those are big words, aqua dumbbells. So I just like to say my buoys. So you can call them whatever you want. I just want you to know they all refer to the same thing. They are your buoyancy equipment. Look at there. They just float. They are just hanging out, waiting for me to press down and add some effort to them. It's going to cause me to work a little bit more on that upper body. So these are a great piece of equipment. How do you know what kind of equipment to buy? Now, before we go into the pros and cons, we're going to talk about your equipment. These here are your standard, I would say, size that you would find on, if you go just searching for a pair. I'm going to show you differences in sizes because that's where it matters when you go to the price and the intensity. This is a very, very small one. It's an older one. It's been through a lot of sun, as you can tell. I use this on my easier days. I'll use this on my intermediate days. And this is on my, I want to really push it days. Can you see the difference in the size of those buoys right there? The more surface area, look at all that surface area. Look at all that not surface area compared, right? The surface area is different. And when you have the lesser surface area, it's less resistance, more surface area, more resistance. So again, this is where you're looking to see, where are you? Beginner, not so beginner. Another thing I'd like to point out is your buoys have lots of options. Not only can you pick what size you want, you got color choices, and you got style choices. These are your traditional shape, the circles. And you'll see these pretty much everywhere. These ones here are a different shape. They just add a little bit more turbulence to it. So when I'm doing a movement, I'm going to turn up water. It may not be as much resistance as this shape because there's a little bit more, but it's got more turbulence because it's got those bends in it. Every extra is going to feel a little different based off the buoy you choose and the whole way you hold it too, right? So those are some options, colors and shapes. Let's get on to the pros of why would you buy your set of buoys. Now, your set of buoys, first of all, oh gosh, it's a great upper body workout. Just pushing these down to the floor versus using no equipment is making my upper body very challenged. So I'm going to go ahead and choose these if I'm looking to go into my upper body. And again, it can be doing such a thing as a bicep curl. It can be doing such a thing as your tricep press downs. Yeah, it can be your chest flies. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do using your buoys. They're very versatile in the way you can move them. They can be in front of your body. They can be at the side of your body. And you can even bring them behind your body. The great thing is they can be used for suspension exercises. So if I need to do some more of a suspension move, I can use them here to help me stay afloat versus trying to do it by treading water. That way I can really focus on my ski or my jack legs with my tucks. One thing I really, really love about these is you can use them one-handed. And again, I've had people kind of like, what? Why would I put my other one away? They're a pair. No, listen, they're a pair and that's super great. But you know what? Doing unilateral work, which means one side of the body, is super great for your core. Because as you move one side of your body, right here, this side of the body over here wants to move. Because it's like, okay, I feel the pressure over here and things are happening. I want to move. But when you're doing it on that one side, my other side's stabilizing, keeping my core straight, and I'm trying to focus on bettering myself as I have a movement happening on the one side of the body. So unilateral exercises are a great way to increase your workout too. And when you use one, you can hold the ends. You can do your figure eights. You can do your push and pulls, like your plunges. You can do those without having to, overdo it. So maybe today is a day that you don't want as much for that upper body and you don't want to hold on as much with those wrists. You can go ahead and do it holding it by its ends, right? It can be used even for helping you stay balanced while you're trying to do a hip abduction by holding your arm out as if you were holding on to the wall. It's not as secure as the wall, but it does give that little added support. So many ways to use it. You don't have to always have two. You can always use one. But I do suggest that you get some buoys if you're feeling like you need to work on your upper body. Now, there are some cons to using these, and I see this quite often, and this is why on my workouts, I always advise you to rest your wrists, because these are heavy, grabbing right along. You're doing that motion for, sometimes 45 minutes, in a workout. And after 45 minutes, your hands start to cramp up. So you want to give those hands rest in between. So they make you have to grab, and that's, not the best posture for your hands for 45 minutes at a time, especially when you have joint problems and you're feeling pain there already, right? So you want to always make sure you're using rest breaks, because it's very important to let your body relax. And it can be very intense on the upper body, in the shoulder region, the neck region. As you're plunging down, you have to keep your ears away from your shoulders. So if you don't have control over it, or maybe you have too deep of water, if you go into really deep, I'll simulate deep water, and I'm trying to do a push down, like a plunge in front of me. Now my shoulders are already elevated, my hands are at the top, and it's really hard to get it down there. So it's going to be not a good, safe way to get that exercise in if you're in too deep of water. So I suggest if you're in the deep end, you're going to want to have that buoyancy belt, and then you can add those on for sure, as long as you're using your good posture. But if you're in the deep end and you're not using a buoyancy belt, it may not be the right place for everybody to be using these. So probably best area is in the shallow or the deep with a buoyancy belt. And sometimes these can be just way too much resistance. For a beginner, if you have the really large aqua buoys, it may just be way too much for you right off the bat. So there may be a choice that you might say, no, not today with those pieces of equipment.